The best way to predict future is to create it. Peter Drucker. I am Nasima Khan, and this is POOLit Pod, a platform where we meet sustainable warriors from different walks of life and highlight the amazing work done by them to protect our planet Earth. Today I am speaking to Swetha Manivannan. She is an architect in social sector with a keen interest in education and sustainable living. She is the head of business and design at Anthill Creations, a non-profit organization that aims to bring back play through sustainable playgrounds and indoor play for children in underserved communities. With experience in community engagement, facilitation, and spatial design, Shweta is seeking channels to enable meaningful social change through design. Hi Shweta, welcome to POOLit Pod. It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Nasima. My pleasure to be here as well. Yes, thank you for having me.
Shweta, let's start from the very beginning. Anthill creation movement, how and when it is started.
The story really begins when five friends from IIT Kharagpur was just spending time around their campus, and they found children playing with old tires and plastic bottles, could be slippers, to play. And then the realization was, every child deserves a safe and a more active play space. So
Right.
they got some funds, used tires and whatever waste was available, and built the first playground. And after that, so that got covered by media, and that coverage made so many schools across India kind of call and request for playgrounds. So then the need for play spaces was very evident, and that's where the journey really began.
Amazing. A small act has convinced you all to turn into something so big, just like Anthill Creations.
Yes. So, how we usually select sites is we have a database of schools that have requested for a playground. So, these have come from across the country, and our focus right now is in India. And we match these requests to CSRs and corporates, or even individuals or other NGOs who are willing to, spend some money or do some good work in these regions. So it could be some companies are particular about, they might be already working with certain schools in a certain region. So even in that case, we go and set up places in that, play spaces in those schools. So in terms of process, one is of course site identification that happens either from Anthill side or from the companies or the donors side. And once we understand the site, we have something called a site survey form that we share with the POC. So this could be the school principal or the donor itself. And we need details like the number of children, how much space is available, what is the age group of children. And based on all these details, our design team curates a design proposal. So
Right.
this either comes from our set catalog of more than 100 elements that we do have, or we also design new elements from scratch depending on the site context.
That's right.
And once the design is approved, we get it approved by all the stakeholders, the principal, the donors, all of them. And then our team travels to the site, and then we source our materials and labor locally so that we cut down on the carbon footprint and also the transportation costs. And we set up the entire playground within 5 to 7 days. And
Okay.
yeah, it starts with excavation, tire cutting, fitting, and ends with a quality check by the
Okay.
children themselves. So yeah.
So, on an average, how long the entire process takes? A month,
On an
months?
Yes, yeah. On an average, the best case scenario would be from the first conversation with the client to the execution, it would take about a month. Yes.
Okay, all right. Shweta, whenever we start something new or something innovative, there are so many challenges we face to execute that project. What kind of challenges Anthill Creation faces to start a new project?
So initially in the journey, one struggle was, I think, making people understand that play is equal to education. It's as important, and it's not a luxury, but it's an absolute necessity. So that was definitely a struggle, and this was not just from our partners, but it was also with the principals of schools. Some of
Right.
them felt that play is a distraction, so we
Oh,
kind of had to address that mindset. That was one issue. But in terms of execution of the playgrounds, depends on the geography. So there are places where there's no electricity, so we've had to like get electricity from a parallel road, or if it's a very remote location, then that becomes difficult. And sometimes it's also the terrain. So when we start digging and then we realize there's just huge rocks, so we have to think on the spot. So that way our operations team really, they solve like multiple problems on a daily basis.
right.
So yeah, mainly these problems, and sometimes permissions happen. So if we're working in remote villages, if the local panchayat or the community members, if they are not so convinced with the idea of playgrounds, then there might be some issue. So we just have
Right.
to make sure that everybody is aligned and everybody knows the importance of play for children, and then the process is smooth. So yeah.
Absolutely. Whenever I come across sustainable warriors, the first challenge they too face is the same what you said, that changing their mindset and convincing them why and how important it is to have a sustainable living around, whether it is in the form of playground or any other aspect of life. Sustainable living is becoming absolutely important these days.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
Shweta, I'm just curious to know, after talking to you for some time now, that have you guys ever thought or ever quantified the overall impact of your projects?
Mhm. Yes, so we are 5 years old, right? And we do track certain numbers. So one of the numbers is definitely the number of playgrounds that we have built. So till date, we've built 326. And apart from playgrounds, we also look at the number of children we are impacting. So that is about 3 lakh children that we have impacted so far. And a very important metric that we do track is the amount of kgs of tires that we've upcycled, right? And while a majority portion is the tires, we also upcycle other waste like metal drums. We also use the locally available waste. To give you a small example, so in Kashmir, we had built a playground recently, and so they had done renovations in on their campus. So there was this solar water drum that was just kind of thrown around, and we converted that into a playhouse. And
Oh,
then we
that's
used some
nice.
door and window frames to make a seesaw. So apart from what we have already planned, if there is a lot of locally available waste, we ensure we make use of that as well. So in terms of numbers again, so far we have upcycled about 243 tons of tires, and this is with the 326 playscapes. And that is these are numbers that we're already tracking, but we are also piloting another more detailed impact process where we want to understand how is the well-being of a child being impacted because of play. So it could be their core strength, and also not just physical well-being but also mental well-being, their
Right.
social and communication skills, peer interaction. So these are all things we're studying at the moment.
Okay. And does it help kids to understand about sustainable environment? Is there in any which way Anthill Creation is creating awareness about it,
Yes.
especially for to the kids?
Yes, definitely. And so actually, I was in a school today this morning, and there were these bunch of children who came and they said, "Okay, like, what are you doing?" We said, "We're building a playground." They said, "Oh, is it going to have metal and rope?" I said, "No, we're going to use tires." And then they said, "Oh, we're going to walk on tires." So I think just the like while we came to it from an environment point of view, I think the concept at large is very exciting for them. So just the use of new materials, and we do talk about where these tires came from and how many tires are being used for that playground. So even it's not just the students but the teachers and the principals, they also get awareness, right? They also
Right.
learn something new. We've got feedback where they've said, oh, we've just seen tires burning, but here it's becoming something different. So yeah, that's the feedback we have got. And we also do employee engagement. So if any corporate is funding our playgrounds, we invite their employees to come and paint our playgrounds. And
Oh,
while some of them paint, we also build the playground from scratch with them. So actually today, like the site I was telling you about, we have college students who are coming and building this playground for the school students. So we
yes.
do such things, and we also do sustainability workshops for employees. So this year we do best out of waste. We convert like your Amazon and cardboard packages into games that you can use at home. We convert them in newspapers and plastic bottles into planters. So this is a constant workshop that we also do.
That's great. It means that whoever getting involved in the project, especially the playground project, so everyone is learning something about sustainable in this process, whether it's teachers, people who are helping to create it, and of course the kids.
Yes, yeah, that's the aim.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Shweta, now we got a good picture about what Anthill Creation does. But let's move on to something a bit fun, rapid fire, where we will ask you a few questions and you have to give answer rapidly. And as
Done.
they say,
Ready.
full of fire.
Okay. Sure.
Shweta, two easy ways to teach youth about sustainable living.
Start inculcating it in your daily routine.
Mhm.
Could be as simple as carry your own bottle everywhere, stop using single use disposables, and just don't litter. Like it, it's just a general common sense. I would say don't litter. Yeah.
Right, right. Two to three sustainable warriors. That is your favorite, or maybe Antihill's role models.
Yes. So I think both my favorite as well as role models. One would be Sahas. Sahas is an NGO, and they're also a for-profit company who is working on in waste management. So they convert these plastic wrappers like your Lay's and Kurkure packets into recycled boards, which we have also used in our playgrounds. So they're definitely one of our mentors, heroes. A second is actually SWMRT, which is a citizen-run group here in Bangalore, and I mean, my like hats off to them because they started waste segregation in households in the locality that I live in, which so I really appreciate how one citizen can create that much of a change. So yeah.
Right, right. And one sustainable habit that you can't live without.
Um, I always carry my water bottle. I like completely avoid single-use disposables. So yes, that's one habit.
A habit that many Anthill employees have. Sustainable habit, of course.
I think segregation of waste is something that we are very aware of. I think even with our playgrounds, like all the whatever material is left over, so we ensure it goes back to the scrap market or it is disposed of properly. So yeah.
Yeah. With that, we are done with our rapid fire, and we are
Okay.
almost we are almost towards the end of our session. But before you leave, any sustainable message that you would like to share with our viewers?
It's a simple thing. I mean, it's almost cliched, but it's the most valuable. I think no matter how small it might seem, you need to take that first step. So
Right.
even if it's about saving a little bit of water or just saying no to a straw, just do it, make it part of your daily routine. That's the only way it'll stick. And yeah, even if the change is slow, make sure it happens.
Yeah. As long as it is consistent, it will have impact in long run, for sure.
Absolutely. Yes.
With that, thank you so much, Swetha. It was great talking to you on POOLit Pod.
Thank you so much, Nasima. Thank you for all the amazing questions as well. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it and want to watch more of such videos, then do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on other social media channels. Till then, take care, be safe. Signing off, Nasima Khan.